Ted will be our first speaker, Ted Rogers. Ted Talks. Ted and his beautiful wife live here in Longmont. Ted has an MBA in finance, a master's in theology, a master's in education, a master's of art in modern British history, a master's of arts in modern European history, and is a PhD candidate in modern British and Southern Asian history. He's also a graduate of grade school back in Ogallala, Nebraska. I just made that. Ted teaches at the University of Colorado. He and his wife have traveled to 49 countries and been deported from each one. They have just returned from 2 months in Southeast Asia, and they are healthy. And at this point, let's put our hands together and give Ed a real nice, warm Pecha welcome.
Now, healthy is still to be debated. Oh, thank you. Thank you. My dogs will love that.
Mine do too.
Healthy is to be debated. We're still waiting for the checkup, but it is good to be back in the States. So, and it's great to be here with you guys. So, Oriental rugs. Feel the light. Okay, tonight I want to talk with you guys about Oriental rugs. Those artistic treasures that can be handed down from generation to generation, and as you walk across them in your bare feet, give your bare feet wonderful little foot orgasms. Thank you. So what we're going to be talking about specifically is how to purchase an Oriental rug. What's that? Okay. How to purchase an Oriental rug without spending a pile, and how not to be fleeced or have the wool pulled over your eyes in the process. Camel's wool, the sheer delight. First, let's look at how Oriental rugs are made. True Oriental rugs are made out of silk, they're made out of wool, or they're made out of camel's hair. A common rug dealer ruse, to remember, is to say that a rug is made out of art silk. That means, unfortunately, artificial silk. Don't buy it. True silk and camel's hair rugs make some of the best rugs. Silk or camel's hair is spun roughly, then dyed. The process of spinning and dyeing is considered work for older women in India due to their patience and small fingers. The dyes that were used were made from vegetables and powdered gemstones. Though Oriental rugs are made in a host of countries, as you can see here, there's a split on how the rugs are made based on the type of knots that are used. So on different types of knots, basically one knot is 1 pixel. Rugs made in India and other countries east of Turkey typically use the Sena knot. This allows for tighter knotting. All knots are tied by hand. Medium-sized living room rug will take 2 to 2.5 years to tie. Here's a man tying by hand the knots on a rug. Note the pattern in front of him here, and note that he's crouching. He's not seating on a seat. He stayed in that crouch, tying knots all day. When I took this picture in Jaipur, it was 118 degrees in the shade. So here are some of the details of the rug we bought. The pattern is called a Hawa Mahala. It is based on the architecture of Jaipur, the wing palace. Note the underside of the rug here. This is 400 knots per square inch, all tied by hand. Once the rug is knotted, the work is not done. Next is combing and hand trimming. This ensures even depth and texture. A good rug is actually trimmed at a 45-degree angle, so you can tell the quality of the rug if it changes color slightly depending on how you view it. And a common mistake is to think that thicker is better. Thin rugs typically are some of the highest quality. Next, the rug is flipped over, and the underside is gone over with a torch to burn off the extra fibers and to seal the knots. Caught him. And then finally, the rug is washed. Washing and air drying take time, a period actually of months. The washing rids the rug of the dirt from the open air knotting. This is all done in open air process, and of excess fibers. Remember that each process we've discussed is done by hand. This is not anything that's done by machine. And so the process, the result, 2.5 man-years of labor for one living room sized rug to be enjoyed by 2 very large Gordon setters. Again, the pattern of this rug is 200 years old. It's inspired by the Jaipur Wind Palace, which is 1/4 mile from where the rug was made. And it was built by the king of Jaipur for his wives so they could stay in purdah or seclusion, yet still see the festivities of the city. The palace is 220 years old and only 1 room wide. So Jaipur, the rugs knitted in Jaipur reflect its history, its agriculture, and its architecture. From the vegetable and crushed gemstone dyes to the local scenery, the city of art and inspiration of Jaipur shows through in its textiles. So here are your choices. You want to buy a high-quality living room-sized rug that's of silk or camel hair and is densely hand-knotted. You can plop down $15,000 or $20,000 here in the U.S. Or there are some other choices. Cat's breath. You can fly to Delhi, then to Jaipur. The high side for the round trip coach is $1,800. I got the trip for $1,100. If you shop around, it's easy to find. And then, once you are in Jaipur, and this is a huge treat, stay at the Tree of Life Resort, one of the top resorts in all of South Asia, and one of the top 50 resorts in all of the world. These are pictures of the villa that we rented while we were there, and as I think you can see, it really doesn't suck. Then immerse yourself in the culture of Jaipur. Hire a guide. I mean, they have the best guides in the world. Most of them have Masters of Arts in history. Hire a guide. Learn the history. Hug an elephant. Oh, they are wonderful creatures. They're delightful creatures. Learn the story of the local patterns of the rugs, because each pattern has a story, whether it's from the architecture or the flora and fauna. Each rug has one. Learn the history of your rug patterns and buy your rug. It costs $2,500. So save a pile. Buy your rug here, $20,000. Fly round trip to India, $1,800. Stay at the Tree of Life, $1,400. Enjoy the city of Jaipur, $200. Learn about oil rugs and buy your rug and save $14,100.
Start using the mic so you'll get the recording of it. Okay.
All right, it all happens on the rug.